Hi there and welcome to another video from Hegarty Maths. It's Mr. Hegarty here, and in this video we're talking about quadratic expressions and what they are. Let's start by doing something we already know. Pause the video and expand and simplify each of the following three questions. Okay, you should know how to do that and go back to your work on manipulating expressions if you don't know how to do that. It's really important these skills are really solid for you before you do anything on quadratics. Hopefully you got the following answers. 2x add 6, x squared add 5x add 6, x cubed add 6x squared add 11x add 6. Now, the reason I'm asking you to do that is I want to point out the difference between each of these. Now in this one, the answer has highest power x to the power of 1. It's got an x to the power of 1 as the highest power of x. In this one, the highest power of x is x squared. It's got x to the power of 2 as an answer. And in this one, it's got highest power of x, x cubed, or x to the power of 3. And the names, these things have different names, and they're different type of algebraic entities, or beings as it were. And we just need to say what they are. So, on this page here, I'm going to give them their names and names you need to learn. Now, these type of things are what's called polynomial expressions at the moment. Polynomial expressions in x. In terms of x, we'll say in terms of x. So they have x's in them apart from this one, and they've got x's to some power. Now when you're naming these polynomials, these are all different types of polynomial. You look at the highest power of x you've got. Here we've got x cubed, here we've got x squared, here we've got single x, which is really x to the power of 1, and here we've actually got no x's, okay? And they've all got different names. Now this one here, this is just a number. It's got no x in it. Technically it's not even a polynomial. We would just call this a number, which is obvious, or we might call it a constant, or we might call it what's called a scalar, any of those. Now when we've got one x in it, the expression is called linear. And we'll see later, it's because if we draw these type of things, they're straight lines. So linear expression. With a power of x squared as its highest power, we have what's called a quadratic expression. And that's what this whole topic is about, quadratic, so things that have highest power x squared. And this one, yeah, it's got an x squared, so you might think, isn't that a quadratic? No, because it's actually got a higher power, it's got x cubed, and those ones are called cubic expressions. And in this particular topic, we're going to be exclusively dealing with quadratic expressions. But it's important that you know what they look like and be able to identify them as opposed to maybe linear expressions or cubic expressions. So that's what this skill is going to be about. I'm just going to ask you to label or name different types of expression. So here's the activity for you. Here are various different expressions. Some of them are linear, some of them are quadratic, some of them are cubic. Pause the video and see if you can write out 3 columns, and underneath each column write down an expression that is linear or quadratic or cubic. Pause the video, have a go. And I'm just going to show you the answers now. Hopefully you got the following. Now linears have highest power x to the power of 1. All of these have x to the power of 1 as their highest power. Even this one here, 3x to the power 1 plus 5 all over 7. The dividing by 7 doesn't change that you've got x to the power of 1. And this one might be trickiest. It's got a bracket, and if you multiplied out that bracket, we'd have 3x add 15. And again, that's x to the power 1. So they're all what we call linear. Now these ones here all have highest power x squared. You can see it there, you can see it there, you can see it there. Even though it's got a linear thing here, 6x, the highest power is x squared, so it makes it a quadratic. X squared, x squared, x squared. Now these two mightn't seem obvious, but when you expand out the brackets, which you should know how to do, for the top one you would get x squared add 7x add 10, which obviously is quadratic, and for this one you'd get x squared add 5x, which again is quadratic. And then the last one, we've got x cubed, x cubed, x cubed here as highest power, x cubed here, so they're all cubics. This one's also a cubic. You don't need to actually expand it out to c. You know from this bracket here you're going to get x squared add 4x add 4 if you expand out this bit, and you know that when you multiply it by x add 5 you're going to get an x cubed term for sure as your highest power, so that makes that a cubic as well. And that's it for this video. All I wanted you to be able to do is recognize quadratic expressions, recognize linear expressions, and recognize cubics. For the rest of this topic, we're going to be dealing exclusively with these type of expressions, quadratics. Thanks very much for watching.